Spartans to Podcast Evolved, part of Evolved, your home for Halo. Podcast Evolved hosts original lore series and recaps last month's Halo news. Our current lore series is Infinite Impressions. I am your host Aaron, and with me today we've got Tom.
Hello there.
And we've got Oran.
Hello everybody.
And we are live on our Discord server. We are chatting with all of our lovely Discord folks. Lovely Discord folks. I don't think lovely and Discord goes in the same sentence. I'm going to take umbrage with whoever writes this script.
You know, they are lovely, even if they can be a little rowdy.
Yeah.
Discord's a dark place. It's basically like part of Krista's brain personified into physical form, and I'm not sure how I feel about this. But you're all here. If you would like to join us, join the Discord. Today we're going to cover Halo news on a new Halo book, the TV show. We have an Evolved show announcement, and we have our monthly Evolved digest.
Ooh.
Yes. So, before we get started, we will go into the socials. If you're new to the show, welcome to Evolved, hosts a variety of shows. This is Podcast Evolved. You can check out our previous lore series, The Road to Infinite, and our character dossiers for Halo Infinite. Evolved also hosts Mission Debrief, Builds with Blocks, Halo Book Club, and Halo Headlines, and soon to be more shows. Evolved is also partnered with Josh and Will over at HCS Pro Talk. You can go there and listen to the guys as they discuss all things competitive in the world of Halo. It's a very good, very high energy show, and they're definitely the people you want to listen to if you need insights into the competitive world of Halo, because I am not the man for the job. You can learn more about all of our shows by going to the website, that's halopodcast.com. If you're already a fan, we would like to ask you to rate us and leave us a review on your podcast service of choice. We love all feedback from you guys. We'd also like to take a minute to thank all of our patrons for their continued support. Thank you, patrons.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. And thank you to everyone who's in the live chat tonight as well. Shout out to Reclaimer, who is here for their very first live show. So hopefully we don't disappoint with this one. Also, Noble 6 is still alive and has been pulled from the cave.
He's been awakened.
Oh, and welcome It's Jason as well. I do not think I said that right, but we're going to go with it. And Aaron, Aaron, I'll hand it back to you before I keep derailing us with the Discord chat.
Yeah, Tom, can you just read us the live chat the entire episode?
Simp lives don't matter.
Oh god. Okay, we're done. No. We're going to mute Tom's feed and carry on. All of our patrons receive a variety of exclusive rewards, such as access to early episodes, unique swag, and our very own soundtrack. You can head over to patreon.com/Halo Podcast Evolved to learn more. And finally, we encourage all of our listeners to support Audible, where they can enjoy the growing collection of Halo novels all in one place, along with thousands of other novels, guided wellness programs, and more. Use the URL audibletrial.com/Podcast Evolved to learn more and start your free trial today. And as with every live show, I will continue to recommend a book series, and I am currently doing the Red Rising series. Quite good. Yes, it is basically what will happen in the future after Elon Musk populates Mars.
Nice. That does sound quite interesting.
It's a good series. Quite like it. Finished the second book, and I now have like 3 weeks until my next Audible credit, so I have to decide, am I going to wait or am I going to spend money on a book?
What do you mean 3 weeks? Isn't March like around the corner?
Yeah, but my subscription's like the end of the month. I got my credit about 7 days ago and then finished the book there this evening, so I might need another book. I don't know, I have to decide.
I've heard of a really good book called Jurassic Park.
I've listened to that. I think at the time, I then did want to go and listen to The Lost World, but for some reason at the time, Audible only had the German version, and I was not prepared to make the commitment to learn German to listen to that. So I'll have to check again and see if The Lost World is available. Fun fact, the original Jurassic Park novel, quite different to the movie we're all familiar with.
Yeah, I mean, if we want to take this in a different direction and do a live episode of the Jurassic Park podcast, I am absolutely up for it.
maybe once we finish all of the Halo short stories and we're up to date on the novels for our Halo book club show, we'll just start doing Jurassic Park books.
Oh, that's doing things for me.
It's given me an idea for our next Patreon exclusive episode. It's just going to be Dinosaurs with Tom. Doesn't have to be Halo. Just because it's exclusive doesn't mean it has to be Halo, see? We'll see what the live chat says. Right, so we have last week in Zeta Halo to cover. I'm going to cover this by saying that I did not play any Halo.
Boo!
I know. I'm a bad Halo person.
Fake Halo fan over here.
I know. I'm trying to think. I've played a little bit of Halo Infinite multiplayer with my niece on and off, but nothing major. I sort of haven't been playing anything for a while. I fell into Farming Simulator for about a week and a half there. That was a dark time. Now I'm back playing Division 2. I don't know what prompted that, but it was just like I need some like comfort food game, so that's been like my dark shame at the minute. Just I don't know. Haven't been in the notion to play much of anything lately, so just like taking it easy. I did download Flight Simulator because I can play that on my Series S, so I might give that a go next. See what I make of it. Right, we will go with Oran because he's got something written down here.
Yes, so I have done it, and I actually realized I did this last week, but I beat Halo Infinite on Legendary last week. So it's not really last week. But this week, as of like 3 hours ago, I reached level 100 on the Season 1 Battle Pass. That's pretty cool. I was doing my 10 Rai challenges, event challenges. I also got to level 30 there. So then I was like, I might as well just get to level 100 in the Battle Pass. So I did that. That's the big thing I did. It's about it, really. Just podcast stuff other than that.
That sounds not too bad.
Well, ironically enough, about 3 or 4 hours ago, I also got to level 100 on my battle pass.
No way!
It's almost as if we've already had this exact discussion on a previous recording. And I have also rewatched Halo Forward Unto Dawn this week, and I have spent more time in Halo Infinite's campaign, just getting a couple more screenshots for our social media posts and that kind of stuff.
Nice. Good work. I'll give you some feedback.
Thank you.
Yeah, this next week, guys, this next week of social media.
It's just the same as every other week, really, but you know.
Right. Will we dive into the news then?
We begin our monthly news with a new Cannon Fodder, issue 124, shipping out. We get a new Halo novel announcement. We get the next novel from Troy Dennings, Halo Outcasts. 2559, formerly one of the Covenant's greatest and most fearsome warriors, Arbiter Thel 'Vadam, is now allied with his former human enemies while deeply entrenched in leading the Sangheili people to a new era of unification. But his aspirations are under constant threat, whether by a dangerous, wearing faction of rival Sangheili keeps, or the relentless shadow of oppression spread by the renegade artificial intelligence Cortana. An opportunity to break Cortana's change has suddenly presented itself through the rumored existence of an ancient artifact located on a hostile world of Netherop. Spartan Olympia Vale, trained with the skills to live and thrive among the Sangheili, also recognizes this alien prize as an essential means to aid humanity in reaching the same goal of freedom. But behind the scenes, both Vadam and Vale are being manipulated by a mysterious figure with their own agenda. And to make matters worse, all involved are unknowingly placing themselves at perilous odds with forces beyond their comprehension. Wow, guys, that sounds dangerous.
Your energy in that description has just sold me on it. I also, I don't know why, but for whatever reason, I just didn't read the description when it was in the canon fodder, and hearing how much it ties into sort of like post Halo 5, pre Halo Infinite potentially, has me pretty excited.
I mean, this, if I had to guess, it's probably before Shadows of Reach. It could be like concurrent, but Shadows of Reach is October 2559, and this sounds like something that's a couple months after Halo 5, and that's what, October 58? Yeah, somewhere in between 5 and Shadows.
I'm curious if it's going to tie into Operation Breaker Trip that we know the Locke was on in Halo Infinite.
I don't know. I feel like it's its own thing, because it's all about the Sangheili.
Yeah, Netherop is... Now, the last time we see that planet, that is the one that they left the humans and the elites trapped on with the minefield, isn't it? That's the end of... Not Silent Storm, but... What was this? Oblivion?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Oblivion, so I'm curious to see, do we get like a... when was Oblivion? It's like in the Halo timeline, like 30 years ago? 20 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pre-Fall of Reach.
Yeah, because it's just the start of John's career. I'm curious to see how that goes.
Yeah, like 25, 26, something, yeah.
Yeah, I assume none of this is going to tie into any Halo Infinite plot, really.
It's interesting because I know that I can't remember how they describe the operation the Locke's on, but it is something to do with directly counteracting Cortana. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe this says that they're going to get some kind of ancient artifact. So I wouldn't be surprised if that artifact then potentially informed whatever Osiris were doing during the events of Infinite, and maybe that's something that we will see play out in a DLC down the line.
That we would see what happened before the main campaign as a DLC?
Yeah, I could see them doing a prologue DLC where you play as Locke doing whatever he was doing.
Okay.
You don't sound very sold on it.
I mean, I could see it as well. I personally wouldn't want that, but I'm not gonna turn down your theory just because I don't want it.
Thank you.
But yeah, I mean, it could be exciting to see, or it's definitely exciting to fill in whatever happened before Halo Infinite, because I think that's the weakest part of Halo Infinite, is that we don't know what happens before the game starts, in my opinion. So I'm all for just learning more. So I'm actually really excited about Outcast, just in the sense that there might be a better representation of the Cortana and Guardian and created opposition.
I'm just thinking, what if this was nothing to do, what if it ends up being nothing to do with Cortana and the Created, and it comes back around to the Sanshayum trying to get these people off the planet? You know, I'm wondering, will this steer away from Halo Infinite completely and throw us a curveball, and it'll actually be continuing on the Prelate stuff?
I feel like it would be better to not necessarily reinforce Infinite, but if it could just give some more context to like where it takes place in the story, or like in the timeline, like, because like we don't really have stories between 5 and Infinite, and so like for that fact, I think it should, just as long as it's prevalent, because like if you look at like Bad Blood had its own kind of story, and then towards the end it had like a Guardian event. But it was just otherwise an operation within a post-created uprising type of a thing. And I feel like that's just the type of story that I'm looking for at like a basic level. And then because we have this whole Sangheili angle of it, is, you know, presents its own unique ways and stories that it can tell. But yeah, it would be great to wrap up this loose end from Oblivion. But on top of that, it'd be great to kind of see what other type of conflicts that Cortana is kind of getting herself into that our heroes have to, like, resolve.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is a follow-up on the Oni conflict plot thread, because obviously going into 5, Oni were quite anti-Chief, And then obviously everything happened and they're kind of like, oh no, we need Chief now. But there is that Oni agent who they set up with all of the archives. I can't remember what his handle is, Fixer or something, who keeps popping back up in the lore. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe it's him putting both of these characters on the trail of Neverop because he needs that artifact for something else that Oni are doing. I could quite easily see it being something like that as well.
I'd be curious. I would like another book. If it's on the level of Silent Storm, I'm here for it.
Well, great. I guess we'll report back once we learn more. But yeah, very early. I suspect this will come out in the fall season or maybe late 2022. But it was confirmed that it would come out later this year. We have our other novel for this year from Kelly Gay, which is the Rubicon Protocol, and that might have got delayed again.
It has, yeah.
That was confirmed. Like, is it August now?
Yeah, because my Audible pre-order got pushed back.
So now that it was, I believe, April or May. Then it got pushed to July or like late June. I think late June. Now it's in July. So that for whatever reason is getting pushed back every couple of months. So hopefully this stays within the 2022 window and we get it before the end of the year. To just move us along in the news, we have the Fractures Tenrai event that returned twice this past month, February 1st to February 7th and February 22nd to March 2nd. The Tenrai event will come back 2 more times before the end of Season 1. Those dates are March 19th to April 5th and April 19th to April 26th. If you need to still acquire your ranks to get your rewards, you need to log in and do your event challenges. You can earn up to 10 levels by completing 10 event challenges during the week while it's activated. So if you want to reach level 30, you better do some grinding this week. It'll be last week by the time this publishes, but if you're listening live, you have a few more days to get at least to level 10, and you can still achieve level 30. Unless they change something, which would be kind of weird. But you never know. Let's see. Halo the series launches on Paramount Plus on Thursday, March 24th. What is this? Paramount Plus renews upcoming series Halo for second season via Viacom CBS. In a press release, Viacom CBS renews the Halo TV series for a second season ahead of its March 24th Season 1 debut.
We can't wait to watch it then, Aaron, right?
Yeah, there's a big asterisk next to that March 24th date, which we'll get into just a second. But I wanted to read this press review from David Nevins, who is the Chief Content Officer of Scripted Originals for Paramount Plus and the Chairman and CEO of Showtime Network. And he said that this second season pickup reflects the confidence we have in the power of this epic series to attract and engage viewers. Halo has been a great collaboration with Amblin and 343 Industries, and we are all grateful for the opportunity to continue it. We got a trailer a couple weeks ago, and that gave us the release date for the 24th. Now we get a second season. Things are happening. It's finally coming around. How do we feel? It's been 9 years in the making.
I mean, I don't have much to say about it. I couldn't fill an hour and a half podcast or anything with my thoughts on it, really.
My first immediate thought is it's going to bring me back to the high seas again. There is no legal way for me to watch this when it comes out for everyone else, so...
I guess I should read the next bit, since you both are alluding to it. So, following CBS's press release that we will be getting a second season, 343 put out a statement about distribution. Halo will be available starting March 24th in all markets with Paramount Plus, which seemingly is only the US, Latin America, Canada, the Nordics, and Australia. Additionally, as part of a special partnership with Paramount Plus, Halo will debut on Sky in Italy and Germany, and on Canal Plus in France as a Paramount Plus original series ahead of its launch in these markets, which is slated for the second half of 2022. Halo will debut in England, Ireland, Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales, and the Caribbean when Paramount Plus launches by this summer. And then on Paramount Plus in Korea during that same time frame. So at least you guys will get it when South Korea gets it.
I know a contact. They're going to supply me the illegal goods. It's going to be fine.
So now's the time to say, I am an FBI sleeper agent, and Aaron, since you've just admitted that live on air, get your hands behind your back, sir. We're going down the station.
You can admit to whatever you want. They can go fuck themselves if they do not provide me with a good way to watch this legally. This is the same problem I have with Star Trek. They took Star Trek off Netflix for no good reason other than, oh, we're bringing Paramount Plus. And like, are you bringing it now while you're showing Star Trek? No, we're bringing it later. And like, well, fuck you then.
Well, presumably this summer will you get Star Trek once Paramount Plus comes over?
In theory, yes. You see, it's weird because I think Picard is still on Amazon, but they took Discovery off Netflix, so I can't watch Discovery, but I think I can watch Amazon, or I can watch Picard.
Well, Discovery has its own thing now. It has Discovery Plus. Everyone's just taking a name and just throwing plus at the end of it.
Oh no, I mean Star Trek Discovery. It's pulled for. It's been pulled for the Paramount Plus app that's not here yet. I'm not sure. I think I can watch Discovery here on. Is it Disney Channel or something? Everything gets weird over here for licensing.
It sounds like you need to discover the answer.
Oh boy.
I used to be very familiar with the Pirate Bay. I spent a lot of time on it. I had lots of hard drives full of stuff, but I moved away from that lifestyle because everything was accessible. Then they made this stupid decision, and now I have to go back to stealing things again.
Nobody asked what was on Aaron's hard drives.
My hard drives were entirely legit. I had a fantastic collection of movies, and the saddest day I ever had was when that external hard drive died.
Man, all those home movies all gone.
I'm not going to comment on that.
Well, we'll move on for your sake. It is sad for those international listeners listening to the show. I guess everyone's international from different point of view. I mean, half of our freaking cast is like from Europe. But yeah, so you can look over at Halo Waypoint and you can see specifically or rewind our podcast, which country and region you will be affected and you fall into. The last little bit here that I actually missed is that the series will also be available on Sky, Showtime, and select European regions once that service launches. Again, no time frame, but hopefully sometime this year. It looks like by the end of the year, summer for some, end of the year for others, Paramount Plus and by extension, Halo, the series, will be available in most and all of these announced regions. So everyone gets to enjoy it sooner rather than later. If you do it illegally, I'm not going to turn you in, all right? It just sucks all around. But Tom will because he's a sleeper agent. Moving on. Halo the series cast and crew interview with IGN's Ryan McCaffrey during IGN's FanFest. This was about a 30-minute interview. I recommend you check it out. It's on YouTube. The name of the video is like Cast reveals if Chief takes his helmet off. And I'm like, oh my gosh, just say like cast and crew joint interview. IGN. But here are some takeaways from it, and you can watch and listen to the rest of it. Like I said, it's pretty informative. It's cool. It's nice to get actor and producer insight into the production of these TV shows and movies and such. So Kiki confirmed that Master Chief will remove his helmet. Kiki says that they are currently taking the show season by season. They are thrilled that they already are working on season 2. Ryan asked if they're going to do like 7 seasons, and she said nothing else to say. Natasha, who plays Catherine Halsey, there also is another Natasha, but this is Natasha McElhone, I believe is how you say her name, McElhone. she says that she's excited to explore Dr. Halsey in season 2. And then all the actors talked about wearing the armor, their favorite weapons, and how they prepared for their roles. And of course, there's much more information, so you go listen to it or watch it. It's 27 minutes long. It's a good time, maybe while you're eating dinner or something.
It's a fun video. I really enjoyed all of the insight you get into the show. And it's cool hearing from Summer Silver Team as well. I enjoyed that a lot.
I'm definitely excited to learn about them as characters and, you know, get some personality in there and see these guys get to work.
I don't want to get too attached to the red shirts because TV has taught me that these people are not safe. Only Master Chief has the enhanced plot armor and everyone else is at risk.
I mean, even Master Chief's not safe, right? Because this is a different timeline.
Could you imagine
if they killed him in the first episode and just went on without him?
They killed the Master Chief.
That would be crazy.
The best way to like totally establish this show as its own thing is to just fucking go hard. It would be the ultimate ballsy move to just be like, oh no, Chief's dead. And then someone else saves them.
Oh, that could be so cool. You have Chief die and the other Spartans are trying to live up to his legacy.
Man, I really hope that those characters are strong enough to hold the show.
I think Chief is a safe bet, but I'm looking forward to this. I think all the people that bitched and whinged about the news that he was going to take his helmet off, and they were like, oh, but they'd done it so well in The Mandalorian. I'm like, he literally took his fucking helmet off in The Mandalorian. It was one of the big plot points.
I saw a bunch of I haven't seen The Mandalorian, but I've seen Twitter and YouTube comments of that exact same thing. It's like, oh, but Mandalorian, and the comment after is like, bro, Mandalorian literally takes his helmet off.
Yeah, it's used to be like a big emotional moment. You're like, they could totally do that with Master Chief, but I really think what they're actually going to do is he'll have his helmet off in the first episode and be like, he's got a face. And then the number of people that are also like, oh, but it's not going to be Steve Downes. And you literally know who it's going to be because they announced this already. We know it's going to be Pablo Schreier.
Steve Downes, as much as I love Steve, I think that he is very much vocal talent.
All these lunatics that want him to dub over Pablo Schreier talking, you're like, no one wants really bad lip sync. Let's not have that either.
I am perfectly fine with Chief's voice. It didn't faze me one bit, it not being... Because it's I don't know, it's a different era. It's 25 years in the past. His voice can change, sure.
There's been different voices for Chief before. He had a different voice in Forward Unto Dawn. It's fine. You've just got to accept these things. I've seen bitching for the sake of bitching over and over. I saw one person that were like, oh, they couldn't even get one recognizable name for this TV show. And I'm like, hang on a minute. There's several. I know them from TV. I granted, none of them are massive A-list Hollywood celebrities, but you're they're all well-known TV people. Just everyone fuck off and wait till it's out and then judge it. Sorry. Apparently my nap really ruined my patience for people.
You're all cranky now? No, I mean, it is very disheartening and you just want to shake people to just wake up, because it's just get over yourself. If it's bad, it's bad, all right? But they're making this show. It looks exciting. He takes his helmet off. Oh my gosh, who cares?
Yeah, and then I did see funny chats talking about this at the minute. But one comment on one IGN post I saw was when someone mentioned Mandalorian, and that someone was like, I really hope they keep his mustache from Orange is the New Black. And you're like, okay, I don't want Chief to have a dodgy porn star mustache, but
I was joking in the chat. If he does have a mustache, I'll kind of just be like, I don't know about that one.
That would be hilarious. I'd love that.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. The show just needs to hurry up and arrive so then we can get it and then just talk about it instead of just shit storming in like, it's just like, we're a month away. We're less than a month as recording. 3 weeks if you're listening to this on your phone.
I'm looking forward to it. We're going to get good shit. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for our coverage of it, and it'll be great. The last bit of news we have is that Halo Infinite, or rather 343, pushed out the mid-season update, which was relatively small, but one of the main things that it addressed were different balancing and behind-the-scenes computations of the ranked matchmaking system. The 343 has kind of addressed bug fixes, stability, anti-cheat improvements, and the skill rating system has been overhauled to address rank tier inflation and inaccurate skill assessments and uneven player skill and other details in that regard. So if you haven't played Halo Infinite in a little while, you might want to just make sure it's up to date, so then when you dive in, you can get right to the playing. I haven't done my new rankings yet, but the matches that I were playing in were extremely difficult, so I wondered if the system thinks I'm higher than I really am, and so I have to lose a few matches to get placed to where I should be, I guess.
I've never bothered ranking.
What?
I've never... I can't say it now because of your reaction to that. Hold up. I never bothered ranking. I only ever played socials.
I am competitive by nature, so I really want to have that above and beyond sort of ranking if I can achieve it. I don't care in most games, but like Halo, I try to do as well as I can.
I'm with Tom here. No competitive, really. I think my niece has played some ranked, so I'll have to find out where she came in all this and see if her rank goes up or down any. I'm sure she'll be furious if it goes down, but no, I'm strictly like a social and co-op guy these days. That's why, to speak of the other game, but that's why the thing I enjoy about Division is just you and other people cooperatively and not competitively, which is nice. It's why I wait patiently for their inevitable firefight, warzone, whatever mode that they bring out someday. That's where you'll find me when in Infinite and co-op campaign. Is that all of our news?
Yeah, it is. It was eventful, but not overbearing.
That's a pretty decent month. And this time next month when we record, we'll have watched our first TV show episode, so we'll have loads to talk about.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, looking forward to this. Right, next up we have Evolved Digest.
Okay, so what is happening with us? Well, Podcast Evolved's Infinite Impressions, where we've got topics and opinions relating to the ongoing support to Halo Infinite's campaign and multiplayer, is continuing. Last episode looked at the characters of Halo Infinite, and our next episode will look at UNSC intel in the form of the audio logs. In Mission Debrief, which is our deep dive into every Halo game's campaign, mission by mission, we have started looking at Halo Infinite. The last mission we broke down was Lockdown, the first open world area in Halo Infinite. Colin, David, Krista and Matt launched the Halo Infinite MD season on Feb 4th, so also check their first 3 episodes covering the first 3 missions. And their next mission is Episode 5, The Tower. Builds were blocks centered around the micro-action figures and brick-based construction sets of the Halo universe. Our latest episode is the best Halo Infinite Mega Construct sets, and our latest video reviews were the Jazzwares World of Halo Escherum, Frederick 104, Jackal Raider, Spartan EOD, and 20th Anniversary 4-pack figures. And our next episode will be... well, who knows? Maybe we've got something recorded. Then after that, we do have a brand new show on the horizon. And I don't want to spoil what this is just yet, but let's say that across the past year, Builds with Blocks has looked at things that aren't necessarily covered by the name of the show. So there's definitely more potential to grow that side of things as we move through 2022. And we have an announcement. So today we are very, very happy to be able to announce that Oran has had a baby, and that baby is Halo TV Plus, a commentary and analysis of Halo's original TV show, Halo the series, and its place within the Silver Timeline. So the last episode you will have heard is the teaser, and our next episode will be episode 1, the history of the Halo TV series. Oran, did you have anything you wanted to add on that quickly?
Yes, I just want to say thank you to everyone who supported me over these years for this phenomenal recognition. It was a long time coming, but yeah. Real talk though, basically, when it was announced that it was coming out in 2022, and we were pretty confident that this date was going to stay, we, as Evolved, wanted to find the best way to cover the TV show, and we had some ideas, but it all kind of came back to, well, we should probably just do our own show and make it like a commentary analysis type of a deal, as opposed to just slapping it onto like a Podcast Evolved episode or try to squeeze it in as like a spoiler cast. It just kind of made sense to make it its own thing, because episodes are going to come out every single week. We want to stay on the game and on the ball with the episodes as they come out, not only for our listeners, but also just for the overall Halo community. We think that what we have to offer with the way we're doing our show is definitely for new fans to find us and enjoy about. And so we wanted to capitalize on that by working hard to get it to a weekly cadence release. So what that means is that I will be pretty much headlining this new show, Halo TV Plus, and it will be incorporated in our main feed, just like Builds with Blocks, Mission Debrief, this show. So if you're subscribed to Podcast Evolved, it will populate there. There will also be its own unique feed for only the Halo TV Plus episodes, if you, I don't know, only wanted to listen to that. And we will start by talking about the history. Tom is going to be the guest, and we may have already recorded it about an hour ago, but
it might be why we were late tonight, guys.
It might have been why the show was a little late. We have a teaser that's out, which, Aaron, I meant to tell you about, but I kind of wanted to like splice. I might be too late now, but I was thinking it would be cool if we like just splice that teaser in here.
I can splice it in here.
All right, splice it in right here. Listen to the teaser. Welcome, Spartans, to the newest podcast from Evolved, Halo TV Plus. I'm your host, Oran, a 20-year Halo fan, a 10-year filmmaker, and a 7-year podcaster. Halo the television series premieres on Paramount Plus on March 24th, 2022, and on Halo TV Plus, I will break down each episode of the series with a rotating weekly guest. With our combined Halo lore knowledge and my filmmaking insight, my guests and I will discuss the show's storyline, character direction, production value, development challenges, and everything in between, including the latest news and its reception. Here's how we're going to do it. Prior to March 24th, we will produce a few episodes that introduce the show, its development cycle, cast and crew information, trailer analysis, general predictions, and more. Then, for all 9 television episodes for Season 1, my guests and I will produce and release 2 accompanying podcast episodes every week. Our first podcast episode will be a watch-along commentary where we discuss the show's episodes as it unfolds on screen. Now, this isn't intended to be a live reaction commentary, as it will not be our first time viewing the episode. But rather, this commentary offers a new way for our followers to listen to our thoughts, impressions, and predictions while watching the TV episode at the same time. I suggest that you watch the TV episode on your own before you join us for the commentary. Don't worry, we'll tell you when to press play. Now, our second episode of the week will be a more return-to-form breakdown analysis of the most important, or perhaps most controversial, story arcs and decisions that occurred during the TV episode. 343 has already confirmed that Halo the series does not take place within the core canon of the Halo universe, but instead takes place within its own Silver timeline. My guest and I will discuss and piece together the Silver timeline and how it complements and deviates from the core canon. Then after Season 1 concludes, we'll produce a few more episodes recapping and discussing the entirety of Season 1. And that's what we have planned for Halo TV Plus for now. Thank you all for listening, and I hope that you will join me and my guests for Halo TV Plus when it launches this spring. And if you want more content from Evolved while you wait for Halo TV Plus, search for our other shows: Podcast Evolved, Mission Debrief, Builds with Blocks, Halo Headlines, and Halo Book Club. I'll see you then. Evolved!
Cool. No, that sounds really exciting. Make sure that you stay tuned for more episodes of Halo TV Plus in the very near future. And as we continue down this list, obviously you'll all be familiar with Halo Book Club, which has got thorough discussions on the extended lore media. That series will return in April 2022. As we've already alluded to, we've got 2 new novels to look forward to this year. We've got an encyclopedia coming out, which is pretty exciting, and lots of other great content to cover as a part of that show. We also do guest interviews now and then. You've heard interviews with people like Kelly Gay, Tim Dodabo, where we try to interview influential employees, authors, and content creators behind the Halo franchise and its community. Our latest interview, we haven't actually done an interview that recently. However, we are currently in conversations about our next 2 interviews, and we're looking at getting them locked down soon, so do stay tuned for those. On the HCS Pro Talk front, Josh and Will discuss the latest information within the competitive Halo scene, with an emphasis on the community every single week. Our recent Map Legends episode was live fire, so head on over and check that out on the YouTube channel. And Inside the Halo Championship for series for February 2022 is live, so you can listen right now.
Hello, Podcast Evolved audience, and welcome to Inside HCS, your monthly recap of all things Halo esports, presented by us, none other than HCS Pro Talk, your weekly Halo esports podcast. For this segment, we'll be recapping the HCS news and competition from the month of February. Before we get into the recap, let's begin with a little introduction into what exactly is the HCS.
Yes, as always, the HCS, or Halo Championship Series, is the umbrella in which all Halo competition lives under. The 21-22 HCS season is in full swing, and for a complete breakdown of the timeline for official events around the world, please see the HCS 21-22 season reveal article over at Halo Waypoint. If you want an easier-to-digest blog post outlining everything about the 21-22 HCS season, Maddie Rums of Noob Combo has published one over at noobcombo.com. For all major announcements from the HCS team over at 343 Industries, please make sure to follow their Twitter account at HCS and their new official YouTube channel by searching for Halo Esports. Josh, with the first Infinite competitive season in full swing, let the listeners know about all the recent HCS news highlights for the month of February.
So I couldn't give a shit if this is not strictly HCS news, as I still couldn't be happier. Behemoth has finally been removed from the ranked playlist of Halo Infinite, for the time being. To be honest, it never belonged in the ranked playlist to begin with. 343 takes away the main selling point of the map, vehicles, and gives everyone BRs to compete on a wide open map with far-reaching sightlines. Keep it in social, stop trying to tweak it for a ranked setting, seriously, fucking stop! Alright, on to the actual HCS news for the past month, and we start with a little update regarding the next HCS major event, Kansas City. As of right now, we're awaiting information from the HCS team on whether spectators will be allowed, and if so, what the COVID guidelines will be, along with when spectator and team passes will be going on sale. If this event ends up being anything like Raleigh, players and spectators alike are in for a real treat. You know, if they fixed all the presented issues, that is. Regardless, it's more of the best Halo competition from around the world competing in the same building on LAN. What more could you ask for? Well, I'll tell you what I didn't ask for. A roster change within one of the top 3 teams currently in the world. Optic Gaming shocked the competitive Halo world by announcing the benching of one of the most established professional Halo players of all time, I Got Your Pistola. For one of the best to ever pick up the sticks, Optic's own Formal. This roster change came right after a respectable second-place finish at HCS Anaheim, the first North American regional event for the HCS, even taking a couple games off the number 1 Cloud9 roster. But I'll let Will talk about Anaheim in just a second. HCS Kansas City will be the first real test for this team with this new roster, and it appears as though that this was a team decision with little to no outside interference from organization management. The team wants to win, and they believe they are one step closer with the picking up of Formal. We're still waiting to see what happens to Pistola, but he has stated that he is remaining in top Halo shape for whatever opportunities come his way in the future. And those are the HCS news highlights from the month of February. Will, we had some incredible tournaments take place over the last month. Would you mind recapping those for us?
It has all come down to this, the finale to the Road to Infinite FFA series by Blue Team Tournaments. Month after month, competitors from all likes of the competitive Halo scene duked it out across their favorite mainline games in the franchise for their spot in the finale. The players fought hard, but only one would be victorious. And as always with our predictions, we were wrong. King Nick did not win at all. Instead, it was Porky J taking home the big bucks. $1,500 to be exact. King Nick got 7th in case you were wondering. Next up, Europa Halo continues to put on amazing events for the European Halo community, and their roadmap shows that they are only getting started for this year. The first stop of the year was with the 4v4 Winter Series, and the finals have just concluded. Team Peppercorns carried through to the end with the finals win. Louis V Titans Money Tuesday show match, the King of Money 2s competition, or 2s competition in general, has returned with one of the best 2v2 show matches of all time. On February 2nd of 22, no less, Tuesday, actual Tuesday, the Optic legendary duo of Lucid and Trippy go head-to-head against the dominant Cloud9 boys of Renegade and Stellar. Things looked dire immediately for the Optic duo, losing Game 1 in a horrendous fashion. But it was all Optic from there, winning the next 4 straight games to win the series and the show match 4-1. Now, if they could only translate that dominance to the 4v4 environment, that would be great. We did have the HCS Free-For-All series. Each and every week, Free-For-All gets its time to shine, with official competitions taking place with the 4 major HCS regions: Mexico, Australia, New Zealand, EU, and North America. While we can't go over every winner from each region during the segment, we sure as hell do in our show. Also, if you want to dip your toes in the competitive FFA realm, the tournaments take place every Monday, so make sure to sign up as spots are limited. The HCS Open Series. Ascend dominates the EU, Pittsburgh Knights dominate Mexico, the Chiefs dominate Australia and New Zealand, and Cloud9 dominate the US. Can anyone take down these juggernaut rosters? Well, teams can certainly try. The HCS Open Series are weekly events to see which AM and Pro teams can make their way up and compete against the best in the world within their respective region, along with getting points for seeding in future official HCS events. The EU Open Series can be watched over on Europa Halo's Twitch channel, and the North American Series can be watched over at Louis V Titans' Twitch channel. For Australia, New Zealand, and Mexico action, please tune into the individual player streams if they are live. HCS Anaheim recap. We'll keep this brief. Cloud9 retains the throne. Optic make great strides in their placings. E-United remains consistent. Sentinels are back with their full roster. FaZe drops down a peg, and Fnatic makes a statement. There are so many different storylines that came out of the first Infinite North America regional event, and we discussed them all on our 222nd episode. So if you want a breakdown of all things Anaheim, we highly recommend checking out that episode of the show. The competition heated up considerably during the month of February, but we have plenty more to look forward to. Josh, what's coming up in the month of March?
It's time for the Mexico and Australia and New Zealand regions to shine with their best talent. The qualifiers and open tournaments have concluded, and we have the pool play rosters set. The finals competition starts on Friday, March 4th, and runs throughout the weekend. Time to see if anyone can make a series out of the Pittsburgh Knights and the Chiefs. But towards the end of the month, EU takes command, and while Ascend remain the top dogs in the region, there's always been a fight for that second place spot. This time, things could change. Will Na'Vi finally make a stand to take the title? Will Quadrant make the splash we believe they can? Or will Ascend continue to do what they do best? We'll just have to wait and see when the finals begin on March 25th. Xbox are upping the ante, this time with 2 $25,000 2v2 tournaments for the North America, including Mexico, and EU regions. Ladder matches and qualifiers have already begun, but the series finale competition is gearing up for a start on March 19th. Speaking of 2v2 competition, it basically wouldn't be where it is today without the help of the LVT crew. And it turns out it's not all about show matches anymore. Instead, The competition is getting more fierce with the introduction of open tournament 2v2s. Grab your duo and sign up for your chance at a weekly $1,000 prize pool. And those are the highlights that we all get to look forward to in the month of March. So thank you for joining us on this edition of Inside HCS for February. If you're interested in finding out more about these tournaments or anything else in the competitive Halo space, please check out HCS Pro Talk on all the socials, YouTube, Twitch, and anywhere you happen to find your podcasts. I'm quite a fan of Pocket Cast myself. Podcast Evolve crew, take it away.
Thank you, Josh and Will, for this month's Inside the HCS. Watch their show live Monday nights around 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on twitch.tv/HCS Pro Talk. Follow them on YouTube and also on your favourite podcast feed. And I was getting really into that then, but unfortunately that's me done, so I'm going to hand back over to one of you to close out the show.
Oh, I think that falls on me then, so... Guys, thank you for joining us. Like we mentioned at the top of the show, you can find every episode of all of our shows at halopodcastevolve.com. You can also search for all their unique feeds as well. If you want to listen to everything all in one feed, just search for Podcast Evolved or Halo Podcast Evolved in your podcast service of choice. Once again, special shout out to all of our patrons for supporting the show and helping make everything possible. If you want to become a patron, head to patreon.com/Halo Podcast Evolved to learn more. And finally, if you'd like to leave us a voicemail that we'll play on the show and discuss, you can do that by calling 205 Evolved. That's 205 386 5833. And with that, I have been your host, Aaron, and until next time, evolve!
Evolved!
Evolve!
Push it, Tom.
It's pushed.
Push it.
Push it real
Push it
good.
real good.
Oh my god, I'm recording myself as I'm doing that, for fuck's sake.
It's alright. It may only go into the after credits.
And that was how Tom's career ended.
That's how Tom's career began.
Oh.
Your careers end when I release all the edited out stuff. That's the bad stuff.
That's the power you have over us, Aaron.
Yes, the things that were not safe to air.
Why did I write April up here?
Because time flies when you're having fun doing podcasts.
You see, monthly news for April.
This is the moment where as we're going through, we realise it's a 2021 script.